guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Christine, and on this channel I focus on beauty and lifestyle, and I'm starting a new series about locks. A lot of you guys liked my first video that I did about my locks, and you were like, okay, you should do this as a series. So hey, here we go. I'm doing this. Let's go. Let's get right into the video. So mind you, I will be reading off my notes. If you guys see me looking down a lot, I'm reading off my notes. But let's get straight into the video. So in today's video, I will be talking about the different methods of locking your hair. So there are so many methods you can lock your hair. And so I'll just go down on a list of the methods that I know. So the first one would be, you can lock your hair using coils. So coils are basically, and I will be inserting pictures of this so you guys have an idea of what I'm talking about. Coils are literally a twist. It's a twist done in one direction, usually using a comb, and that's one way you can start your locks. I feel like that's probably the fastest way for your locks to mat or start locking, by using that method. But then again, it's also the easiest way for your locks to come undone, depending on how you're taking care of it. So okay, second way you can lock your hair is using, just by braiding, like, y'all, what's her name, Whoopi Goldberg. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Listen, English is not my first language, but yeah. So like, she started her locks with braids, literally 3-strand braids. And with that method though, I feel like it can make your locks a little thin, because, you know, braids are pretty tight, so there's no breathing room for your hair. And it also takes the longest for your hair to lock, because you can still see the braiding pattern in the lock. But yeah, you can always start your locks like that. Literally just braid up your hair and then just leave it alone and let it do its thing. And then third method you could use to lock your hair is, you can do instant locks. This is where you literally use a crochet needle. You part your hair whatever size you want your locks to be. You use a crochet needle, and on a single section, you literally go in with the crochet. That's what you're doing. And I did this for my brother's. This is how I started my brother's hair, and this was a while back. This was like probably back in 2000, I would say 19, when I locked his hair. And it's really tedious and time consuming and a lot of work. And then you have to be careful with the crochet needle, because you could poke yourself. And me, being that I wasn't an expert and I was just watching YouTube videos, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch a YouTube video and then I'm gonna lock his hair instantly. So yeah, I wasn't an expert. It took 2 days to finish, and it was a lot. But with that, your locks do come up thick, because it's just more breathing room. Like, it's, I don't know how to explain that, but they do come out thicker when you when you instant lock them. But yeah, you could always do that. Another way you can lock your hair is by permanent lock extensions. So basically they take the lock, and then they part your hair section that they want to lock up. They part that section, and then they start to kind of like retwist, and then they also use a crochet needle, and then they have an extension lock that they want to attach to your real hair, and then they just attach it together by crocheting it. But, you know, attaching the ends and crocheting them together. I don't know if I'm explaining that well, but I'll have a picture. But yeah, you can do that. You can have lock extensions. This is the people that don't want to go through the process of like the beginning of locks and the stages and the short hair, all that. People that don't want to go through that, some people call it the ugly stage, will get lock extensions. people that don't want to go through that will get lock extensions. And then another way you can lock your hair is by getting sister locks or micro locks, and these are different types of locks. These are like the really tiny locks, probably like the size of these little strings that are hanging out my hair wrap, and they're so beautiful, but literally a lot of maintenance, a lot of maintenance in the sense that it takes a long time to retwist them. They're super expensive to get the retwist, because you have so many locks on your head. Like you have so many locks on your head, so it takes a long time. So sister locks, some people call them micro locks, or I think they're two different things, but they look so similar you can't really tell them apart. I don't know, but they're so beautiful. But oh my god, I wish I could afford to. Maybe when I become rich I will get sister locks. Maybe, we'll see. I'll keep that in mind. But yeah, sister locks are so beautiful, so beautiful. And then another way you can lock your hair is by using two strand twists, which is what I did. So what did I do? So basically with the two strand twist, you're just literally twisting your hair like you would normally would, right? You're parting it, twisting it, and then you're just leaving it alone, leaving it alone, and you're just letting it lock. That's what you're doing, just leaving it alone that first month. And then after that first month, that's what I did. So I retwisted my hair, left it alone. After that first month, I retwisted, and then from there on, we're starting to form locks. It took about I would say about 6 months for the twist pattern to be gone out of my locks. So yeah, that took about 6 months. It took about 6 months. It took about 6 months for me to lose the twist pattern out of my hair when I locked it. And honestly, getting two strand twists is probably the cheapest way to lock your hair, because you could do it yourself. And that's what I did. I literally just was, and I didn't really care about how my parts look like. I just wanted to lock my hair, and I kind of I didn't want it to look so put together, I would say, at that time. I just wanted to just be free with your hair. That's what I wanted to do. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to just retwist. I'm just going to twist my hair myself, and then just from there, we're going to have locks. That's what I did. And I've loved it ever since. And here we are now, 2 years in. Even though my hair grows so slow, but 2 years in, and I'm happy to be here. And then the last way that I've heard of that you could start your locks is by three strand twist, which is similar to 2 strands, which I really can't tell them apart, and I really don't know the difference. I don't know. But with that being said, that concludes my message for today. But so when it comes to locking your hair, whatever is comfortable for you, I feel like, and whatever works, you gotta go out there and do your own research. You gotta go out there and find out what you want, especially when it comes to the sizing of your locks, how long you want your locks to be, how thick or small or skinny, what size do you want them to be. That's really important. I feel like for me, that was really important, because that's one thing I obsessed about, especially when you first start. The 2 strand twists, they have yet to become locks, so they're pretty thin. They haven't bulked up yet, so they look pretty thin. So you're like, oh my god, I'm not gonna have a lot of locks in my head, it's gonna look thin, but once they start to lock, they swell up, they look good, they do their thing, and they look full, And I'm like, Yeah, you gotta know. And I feel like you will know how much locks you have on your head or the size by the amount of locks. That's how you count your locks. Like I counted my locks, and I have like 105 locks, and those locks right there, I know they're medium size. So like if they were a smaller size, I would have more than 100. And if there were thicker sizes, then the number would be less than 100. So if you're around the 100 area, then you have medium sized locks. That's how I measure it. But hey, anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening to me blab. And I hope this video was helpful. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know so we can have a conversation. Or if you had any comments on anything that I say, please let's talk about it in the comments below. And yeah, let's have a conversation. Thank you very much. Y'all have a good day. Bye.